The LPGA Tour had Caitlin Clark play. And the LPGA, like, fans, well, the event was taken over by the ominous crowd that made sure to go get angry at everything Caitlin Clark did and everything Caitlin Clark does and was ever going to do, and made it that she was the problem. And
the WNBA is buzzing after the LPGA's bold move, inviting Caitlin Clark, one of basketball's brightest young stars, to take part in a special showcase. The outcome? A massive crowd, electric with excitement, and a fresh wave of fans suddenly drawn into the world of women's golf.
The LPGA, you can see when it came to them that they were happy that Caitlin Clark was there. They knew exactly the value to Caitlin Clark.
Although the golf world embraced Clark, the WNBA's reaction to her soaring popularity has been far less warm. Is it jealousy or something deeper? Stay tuned, because this story cuts into the heart of a rivalry that could reshape women's sports. The LPGA openly welcomed Clark, fully aware of the enormous value she brings.
To the whole event, they saw how important it was that new fans were getting involved in golf, especially women's.
The LPGA's choice to bring Caitlin Clark into their event was a true game changer. Fans of every age and background showed up, not just for golf, but to catch a glimpse of Clark herself. Her star power is undeniable, and the LPGA instantly embraced her. Recognizing she was more than a celebrity, she was a beacon drawing new people to their game. They celebrated her presence, understanding that Clark wasn't only a basketball player, but a magnet for young audiences who may never have considered women's golf before.
Because we know in the WNBA, when it came to Caitlin Clark, it was a lot of like, we don't need you and we were good before and we don't like your fans and this, that, and...
However, this warm welcome lit a spark of unexpected frustration from the WNBA. Despite the boost she could bring, some league voices saw her more as a rival for attention than as a gift with universal appeal. Inside the league, the feeling grew that she was pulling the spotlight from established stars. Certain players and even supporters raised doubts, breaking down major endorsements, and claiming the frenzy around Clark diminished the progress they had fought so hard to achieve. But here's the thing, the WNBA's stance, so different from the LPGA's embrace, forces a question. Are they protecting their stars or missing the bigger vision? Because if women's sports truly want to rise, wouldn't it make sense to welcome Caitlin, a talent who brings new fans with her?
Like, they did everything they could to sabotage their own league. And yeah, it backfired. For me anyway, I think it's hard to argue that it didn't completely backfire for them, because Caitlin Clark is more popular now.
What makes this clash even more fascinating is the reaction from LPGA players and fans. The energy at the event was electric, the kind of buzz that told everyone this was bigger than a golf tournament. Fans showed up early just to catch a glimpse of Clark, and many stayed long after to soak up the moment. This wasn't some passing spike. It was proof of a growing wave that could lift women's sports everywhere. LPGA stars like Nelly Korda praised Clark openly, calling her a breath of fresh air and embracing the way she brought new eyes to the game. They saw her not as competition, but as a partner, a spark that could fuel their sport. In sharp contrast, the WNBA's response has been far more defensive. Instead of leaning into the potential for cross-promotion and expanded visibility, the league has given the impression that Clark threatens its traditional hierarchy. To some players, her fan base feels like an intrusion. But here's the problem. That mindset risks holding the WNBA back at the very moment women's sports are on the brink of something bigger. By resisting rather than embracing Clark's impact, the league may be missing an opportunity that could benefit not just itself, but the entire future of women's athletics. Meanwhile, the WNBA's hesitation to fully embrace Clark shows a very different mindset. Instead of celebrating her gift for uniting fans across sports, parts of the league treat her popularity like a distraction. It feels less like they're building an inclusive stage for women's sports, and more like they're guarding an exclusive club. And that's risky. By narrowing their focus, they risk sounding out of step with what today's audience actually wants. Fans crave dynamic stories, crossover moments, and shared connections across leagues. That's exactly what makes Clark so magnetic. Her genuine passion for all sports and her constant support of other female athletes. She's never shied away from praising the WNBA, never hidden her excitement about lifting women's sports as a whole. Imagine the momentum if the league had harnessed that energy instead of brushing it aside. Her influence could have meant fresh fans, higher ticket sales, and a surge in visibility. But instead, the league's response has felt cautious, sometimes even dismissive, while fans around the world are ready to rally behind her. This could be a major missed opportunity for the WNBA. Instead of welcoming Clark as an ally, they may have sparked tension that's spilling into the public eye, pushing away the very fans they need most. The contrast with the LPGA couldn't be sharper. Golf saw Caitlin Clark's appearance as a gift, a chance to pull in fresh audiences and build momentum. They understood that women's sports, which often battle for viewership, thrive when leagues lift each other up. The LPGA didn't care where the fans came from. They were simply thrilled more people were paying attention. By leaning into Clark's star power, they positioned themselves to capture those fans and keep them. Meanwhile, the WNBA's stance feels different, less like embracing opportunity, more like guarding turf. Instead of celebrating her cross-sport appeal, they treat her like a threat, clinging to a status quo that may not survive in today's fast-changing sports world. If anything, the LPGA's embrace of Clark should be the blueprint. Adapt, welcome, and grow. Because while the WNBA's protective instinct may feel justified inside its walls, it risks alienating fans and freezing growth at the very moment women's sports are breaking through. If leagues like the WNBA don't embrace stars who bring new audiences, they risk falling behind in a world where sports are more connected than ever. Global fans crave cooperation, energy, and unity, especially in women's sports, where the struggles are shared across leagues. As Caitlin Clark's influence keeps rising, the LPGA's success in welcoming her proves that progress and openness work hand in hand. If others followed that model, every women's sport could benefit. The gap between the WNBA's hesitation and the LPGA's celebration of Clark will only grow clearer. Where the LPGA sees opportunity, the WNBA risks shrinking its own reach by passing up collaboration with a star who could pull in fans and resources. This isn't just about one player or one league. It's about the future of women's sports as a united force. And if the WNBA refuses to shift, it may find itself watching as other leagues reap the rewards of the very star it pushed aside. The reaction to Clark's rise has exposed something deeper. The LPGA's vision versus the WNBA's guarded, defensive stance. This kind of friction feels unexpected, especially in a time when women's sports could thrive through unity and shared spotlight. With her genuine love for the game, Caitlin Clark has shown she's more than a fan favorite. She's a champion for every female athlete. And it isn't just about her loyal supporters. It's about the ripple effect she sparks, inspiring young girls to step into women's sports everywhere. The WNBA had the chance to embrace this wave, standing beside Clark's rise and using her energy to lift the league's profile. Instead, they've painted a picture of exclusivity that could backfire, leaving fans and players questioning why the league feels so closed off in today's world. Her magnetic pull, her gift for filling arenas, is a treasure not just for basketball, but for every sport she touches. Imagine if the WNBA had followed the LPGA's lead, shining a light on Clark's success. The LPGA understood Caitlin Clark is more than an athlete. She's a relatable personality, the kind people connect with instantly. Crowds didn't just show up for golf. They came for the thrill, the story, the chance to witness something fresh. And in that moment, the LPGA revealed true vision. They weren't worried about keeping things pure or locked inside golf. They were focused on growth, and they saw Clark as the perfect spark to help make that happen. The real question now is why the WNBA hasn't embraced the same mindset. Even more fascinating is how fans are reacting to the league's hesitation around Clark. By holding back support, the WNBA risks pushing away not just Clark's followers, but their own as well. And the message sent to young dreamers isn't unity or celebration. It's a warning that could hurt more than help. Fans, however, are loud in their love for Clark no matter where she plays. They crave her success and are eager to follow her path, whether it's on the hardwood or on a golf course. The WNBA's stance breeds division, suggesting cooperation across sports can exist. Meanwhile, the LPGA clearly values shared promotion and community. Their approach reflects a sharper understanding of what today's fans truly want. They long for athletes who lift one another, leagues that work together, and a culture of connection. The LPGA's choice to align with Caitlin Clark sent a bold signal. They welcome growth, they welcome fresh eyes, and they're not afraid of the spotlight Clark brings. They embrace it fully. And while the WNBA seems stuck in a mindset that could limit its rise, the LPGA's move shows adaptability that might define its future success.